Hello, hello, hello. It's Norm at night. How are y'all doing tonight, boys and girls and non-binaries? I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I was doing pretty okay until I got a rather disturbing comment on one of my YouTube videos that really just sent me on a very dark internet rabbit hole. Uh, Now, I can't pronounce the name of the commenter, um, but I can tell you this. Their name is definitely reminiscent of what you would expect from a Russian hacker. You know, it's very similar to that. Yeah, it's a name in Russian. Um, it uses the Cyrillic alphabet, which is an alphabet that I do not understand. But apparently, this person made a video about me on YouTube, and I'm gonna see if we can get this. Can I get this live? It's gonna be okay. Cut that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, we're good. I'm gonna stream this on Discord so you can. Wait, no. Okay. And then on the probably the Blue Nami filter. Look at that. No, that picked up the wrong window. Oh, you think it's something like that? You don't think they're an actual Russian? Because they keep on telling me they're Ukrainian, but I'm almost certain they were sent by the Kremlin. Oh, jeez. Um, I'm being currently invaded by the Russians on YouTube.com. In one of these Russians, people on YouTube.com made a video about me, and now I'm going to sort of attempt to drum up some sort of a reaction from myself for you guys at home. I just want to say this video is literally the worst aspect ratio. Let me just put this in perspective for you. This isn't zoomed in. Let's see. Can we get a zoomed out version of that? What is this? Okay, let's get a zoomed out version of that. It's going to be a little hard because I also should mention I am using an ultra wide monitor here, so that does not help the situation when I'm dealing with something like this. Okay. Problem with live TV, it's hard to do some of these longer form things here, but I think it'll be worth it for just the sight of what I have to see on my screen watching this video, and what I'll attempt to make look a little better for you guys. You know, if we can manage it. I just want you to know this entire time the reason it's taking so long is because I have to manually like zoom down this video because it's so big. Okay, there we go. So this is in my opinion, the best way to watch YouTube content. This is their YouTube video, by the way. It's a recording of their screen. But you could see my video up here in the top. Um, it's pretty deep in there. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see what they have to say about me. Do I have the community tab? No, I have to get to actually 1,000 subscribers to get the community tab. So we've got to work towards that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know there's some of these things that I want to like do short little things about, but it's hard with, But I need the community tab basically. This. Wait, does he respond or is this just a video of me? Is. This is a 28-second video. In 11 seconds of it, I have not heard him anything. This is just like a terrible way to watch my video. Oh wait, no. I guess he leaves himself leaving a comment. Transformative media here? Wait. Wait a second. What did he comment? Wait a second. Did he comment? Did he comment, dude, you're a dumb idiot? Yeah, dude. This is the quality of the Russian KGB guys. This is what we're fighting against. Yeah, I really. This is the thing that we should fear as the modern American. I think it's just the might of the Russian troll. Let me get my. Let's get Norm Cam here. I should probably set up the camera for the people on Discord. I've got a fair amount of people. If you actually like do the math of how many people watch this show, legitimately a large amount of people watch this show from the live audience. In a way, I need to get it set up. What? When did that happen? Wait, no, wait, for real? When did they get rid of the KGB? Yeah, but where did those? Okay, let me put it to you this way, man. Where did those fucking people go? I mean, it's like fucking paperclip. Why do you think there's Nazis in America, dude? Like the KGB doesn't exist anymore. Sure they don't, man. That wasn't that long ago, man. There are people alive who are in the KGB who are currently leading members of the whatever the Russian CIA is called, dude. It's call it what you will, dude. I mean, Coke or Pepsi, man. It's all cola. I mean, come on. And sorry about that. I was just doing a little scare. Do you guys know? Has anyone figured out what that poster is in the background? I don't know if it's clearer in other stuff. Does anyone know? Like I know, but I know of course. But any of you guys know? Just like based on just because I'm sure it's been clearer in other photos. No, no guesses. None of the committed no. Well, I was just saying I wasn't sure if you. No, man. You guys want to see it? Let's go for a little trip here. Tell me what you guys are and aren't seeing, and tell me if you guys see anything that's a little questionable. So I can cut that out. I turned the lights on. Do you see that? Oh wait, it also would help if I turned it to a good. There you go. This is a giant poster of Dracula. Okay. Get us to a stable cam here while I do this. There we go. Okay, it's a little high. There you go. I found my hat, guys, by the way. This hat has kind of a story to it in a way that it feels more significant than it is. Oh, somebody just said something exciting happening. I wonder what that was. Somebody watching, is football currently playing, or did they stop doing that nowadays? It's funny. I love how I can ask it. Oh, okay. It's no worries. I was gonna say it's funny how I can ask if football's playing at 10 o'clock at night and not feel like a crazy person. Man, it's 10 o'clock. Dude, my perception of time is better than your perception of time. What, dude? It's what? Are you telling me that it's more? Are you telling me it's morning where I am, but night where you are? Oh, okay, I got it, dude. Both of you, this camera fucking sucks. I gotta fix this. Yeah, that's a little better. At least now it's actually framed, right? But this is problem. This is the low res camera. Should I get Would there be a significant interest in me getting a higher quality second camera for the second angle? I like that idea. Instead of getting a second, you just keep that. I mean, I guess yeah. Why would I? What would the third angle even be? I have this one. I like this one a lot actually. Like not to talk too much shop with you guys because I know not everybody's interested in this sort of stuff. But believe it or not, I do have artistic credentials. I did go to school for this, which means my opinion is worth more than yours from both a social perspective and a job perspective. So if I were applying for the same job, it doesn't matter what my knowledge is, though, because I'm pretty. It's funny. I have there's things that I'm basically certified to do, but by having these degrees that I would be completely unable to do. Because I should be certain. I could not teach somebody how to draw, but with the degrees I have, I could get a job as an illustration teacher, like at any high school, at any like public institution, anything government run, man. And I'd do fine. I mean, I would do fine. I'd slide by, and it wouldn't be a big deal. And the system would eat me up, and it wouldn't be like it's just sort of part of the system. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. College is a scam. If we haven't gotten this across, total scam. Don't buy into the system. Think about this, guys. You literally have a supercomputer in your pocket, man, and they're trying to make you worry about like what's non-GMO. I mean, we're living in the nuclear age, guys. Wake up. That's good. Oh, sure. I mean, there's obviously there's experiences I had in college which I would say was worth the price of admission. I think I got value out of college, but if only because I learned life lessons and I think it has been helpful. It's one of those things where sometimes to destroy a system you have to live within that system first, because it has been helpful in getting me to the places I have gotten in my life. Having a degree and having something to hang my hat on is helpful. There's certainly situations where I wouldn't be able to get certain jobs that I got, in my career path to get where I am now if I didn't have those degrees. But I still think that it's a rigged system, and it really disenfranchises a lot of folks who just aren't into a traditional education style. And the problem is, speaking from experience, if you ever try to go into these institutions in an attempt to make any sort of radical changes or even suggest radical changes, not even make, just even suggest any sort of differing from the norm, you'll usually get laughed out by, tenured professors, people who think you have no right to be there, just because your ideas are too radical or new. And then, in 15 years they'll be dead, and you'll be the new professor, and it'll keep on repeating itself. But that, yeah. Well, it's interesting. Actually, a lot of the sort of material that surrounds education, it sort of does pretty explicitly say, and these are the people who teach teachers, does sort of explicitly say that the point of homework is to teach students a work ethic more so than it is to teach students specific subjects. That is actually something that's emphasized in sort of broader meta material about teaching. Oh yeah, no, sure. I mean, I think college is actually one of the few places that I think teaching is done at least a little right to some respects. Having students have more choice over over the coursework they take, the type of classes they take. Having to the biggest one that I think from colleges that needs to be instituted in the public system and or instituted in some sort of a charter school or however we want to do it. Fine. The biggest thing is professor choice, because it's fucking free market capitalism, man, and it works every time. The bad professors get bad ratings on ratemyprofessor.com. People don't want to pick their course. And, administrators will eventually start picking up on the signals, and sure, maybe professors won't be fired, but they won't be given as many course slots. It's it's a system that works because it's sort of it exists inherently relying on feedback. If people can choose their own professors, then you have a sort of reason to be more rigorous, and then your courses become better, and it's a feedback system where it just becomes better. Yeah, shoot. Oh, that's good. That's I. No, they're definitely supposed to be able to hear it, but I actually had you guys muted. That's good. It's. I think I've started every single show like this. Yeah, I have. I've started every single show with the stream chat muted. That's it's interesting. At least one could say it's a regular segment, at the very least.
Okay, I'm just really new to this.
That's okay. I still think it's funny that there's five concurrent viewers, but none of them had heard the rest of the audience. So there were five people who were just sitting here listening to me mumble to myself. In fact, it didn't even there was no viewership drop significantly in that time, meaning basically people just kept on coming in with me just mumbling to myself. That's remarkably sad, and I don't exactly want to expand on that thought. Has everyone here seen The Dark Crystal?
What?
Oh, has everybody here seen The Dark Crystal?
What is that?
It's a sort of quote unquote children's movie, but it's essentially it's kind of hard movie to explain. But it's a movie in which there's this race of creatures who have been corrupted by this dark crystal, and there's like basically two creatures left of this species, and they have to go to this dark crystal, on this at this very specific time to save and bring back their people. If they don't, the world will fall to darkness. That's the general gist of it, and it's just this deeply.
Oh, that sounds like a generic movie.
It's well,
Okay,
yeah. I
that sounds
mean,
interesting.
it's a fine movie, but the thing that's amazing about it is you just have to look at it. Look up Dark Crystal to see the all the practical effects. It's all done with puppetry. So they have these Skrex like creatures, and they're
Oh,
like
that sounds cool.
they're like crows basically, and they have these very like weird like warty faces. It's just amazing stuff. And one of my absolute, you know, early adolescence, my big thing was always sculpture. Sculpture, and it wasn't just sculpture; it was monster sculpture. So this movie, to me, is like the peak of what I want. What I would want to be out of an artist. Can I show images on here? I could probably show images on here. Sure, we'll get some images on here. As I have a folder here that I can just, and we're gonna keep this real loose style for the images. I'm not gonna have this be looking professional. Too bad.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, here we go. This is skull I made. Let's go with something a little more surreal quickly. Change it up. And that one confusing. One sec.
Wait, so you made these sculptures?
Yeah, I made these.
Oh, those are neat.
Crazy.
This is one I made like a year, like a half year ago, something like that. Like not too long ago. That one's recent.
Yeah, my work is mostly like 2D work.
I've done 2D work, but I tend to much more prefer 3D work. Here's another one. This one's kind of cool.
Nice.
What else we got here? Lately, I've been doing a lot of. This is a fun. Been doing more like photography. I've been kind of trying to figure out the basics of a little more understanding of product photography, because it's something that I've actually studied a little bit before in the past, but not really extensively enough to do very much with. So I'm looking to figure. Let's transition to a face cam there. There we go. But yeah, that's all something I want to look to in the future. Do you guys want to see one of the filters I've set up for this stream? Because I think it's kind of neat.
Sure.
Okay, let's hit it up with this is the 70s haze filter.
Interesting.
Let's see. Do I have anything else? No, I think that's the only one I set up. Yeah, that's the only one I set up. Oh, and then I have the trigger warning one too, but that's keep that one for later. Okay, well let's see. What Rare Pony? How has your night been going so far?
Oh, it's been going pretty good. I got off work a little bit ago, and I went and got some pizza.
What sort of pizza?
It's double pepperoni because I didn't feel like going to the old pizza place that I worked at.
Are you a
Too
Are you
expensive.
are you a monster? Why'd you have to get double pepperoni? Is one
Because
is
they
is
never-
one
they-
life on
like-
your shoulders not enough?
Okay, so Domino's, whatever the Domino's that I go to, for some reason they
Is
put,
that? Thank you actually for making that.
pepperonis.
Can I pause you for a second, please? Thank you for making that distinction. Like genuinely, thank you, because a lot of people don't seem to understand that most of these things are run by like different groups of employees. So just because the one thing in your town sucks doesn't mean that that sucks
Yes.
everywhere in the country. Like I know this seems like such a basic thing, but it's somehow people seem to get confused by it. They're like,
I've been to actually good Domino's, but this one they only put like 2 pepperonis on my pizza
Well,
each pizza slice.
did you order
I'm like,
light pepperoni?
No, I just ordered.
Well, maybe you
normal,
should've.
And there's still only like 3 per pizza slice now.
Oh, this is slightly worrying because I don't know how I want to do it. I had to fix one of my camera angles here, and it's not cropped for the. It's not cropped correctly for like the widescreen thing I have going for my camera, so I have to crop it here on the fly. I know, but the problem is I don't want to. Oh, I just made it even worse. Okay, we're not gonna have squish norm.
No, show us Squish Norm.
Do you really
I wanna
want to see? Okay, well, we'll see squish norm.
Yeah.
Where is it? How did I even do it? Okay, there you go. Well, good. It's not even like major squish norm. It's just guide to squish. Like the problem is, if I had this, you wouldn't immediately know, and then people would just think I
Yeah.
look like this, and I don't know. I don't know if I'd be okay with that. Is there a way? Yeah, okay. It just goes back to normal, right? Okay, like let's do a transition here. Can I overlap it? Like, what's the difference between squish norm and not squish norm? They're rather close.
There's not too much of a difference.
It's
no.
just one is like a little squished. Yeah. Okay, let's cut that out. Jesus Christ. Oh, and then now I even made it worse. I went to the in progress one that screwed up. If you guys can't tell, this is a live show. And by you guys, I mean the people who are in the Discord chat with
He
me.
makes no mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's something about a live show that's just like better.
It definitely does. It creates a little more of an interesting energy. I also realized, there we go. Okay,
This
we
is
fixed it.
all scripted, guys.
Yeah, well, people. That's the whole thing. I get a bunch of calls and people saying stuff is scripted, and I'll be the first to admit, for stuff like NNN News Doc, we have a show document in which we outline the news stories we're going to go over with basic topics for us to talk about. Like, yeah, sure, there's that, but individual statements are almost never scripted. Like I'll almost never. I mean, maybe I do intros or something. Like maybe I'll script an intro, but I almost will never script an individual statement on NNN News or really any of the live shows, or not even live shows. Any of the shows that are any long form content. I've done scripted short form content, sure. In fact, I think if you find the first Nevin Norm collaboration, I think that one's entirely scripted. If you want to see the sort of mechanical mess that what Nev and Norm look like orchestrated by Norm at 4 a.m. because that's the whole thing. The Norm that writes the script is always Norm at 4 a.m. It's never like sober, we record NN News at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, guys. If you ever want to know why NN News feels so clean and sober, which it doesn't always, but why why it comparatively does, is because it's filmed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So like no one's lighting up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're not savages, right? So anyway, NN News too. We what was I even talking about? Yeah. We don't script any of the stuff in that because it just wouldn't come across naturally. If you've ever actually listened to what scripted dialogue sounds like between me and Nev, it just doesn't work super well because I think we have different styles of talking, and when I write for him, I kind of screw with his cadence a little bit, if that makes any sense. And there's obviously been times where I have written for him and it's come across well, but it's not. We don't really do that, that sort of stuff.
Too much work.
Yeah, well, it's not even too much work. I think it's just less effective. The thing is, I'm being genuine, and this isn't even like me trying to blow my, make myself seem cool or whatever, blow myself up. If NNN News would be better if every single thing was scripted in this perfectly concocted teleprompter news show, because most news shows are on a teleprompter, guys, right? Which is crazy. You think, because we think of news people, oh, they're just telling like it is. No, they're on a teleprompter. Somebody wrote that for them. That wasn't those weren't their thoughts exactly. If I ever wanted to, if I thought a show like that would be better and be more interesting and more compelling, I would have made that show. The reason the reason we do NNN News the way we do it is because I think it's more compelling that way. It's, you get the spontaneity of these just amazingly compelling journalistic thoughts. These little wells of how could anyone be so intelligent to think of such a spark like that? You get these in the moment. There's moments I look in Nev's eyes and I see the universe, man. That's the sort of connection that I think we have, and I think that's the sort of spiritual thing we created within the news, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's great, and I don't want to. Somebody said don't. SPQO, she's a good friend of ours. She even was on NNN News. She said to me and Nev, "You guys don't need to drink coffee. Just drink water, because you just gotta keep doing what you're doing. Keep it like it is. Because I don't. It's like." The worst thing I could do is attempt to improve on the sort of chemistry that me and Nev have, because I think it's just so naturally. I just think it works so well. But that's just me.
I don't know who's saying your show's I've never. I wouldn't even be able to tell if it's.
What was that?
I don't know who's saying your shows are scripted. It sounds nothing like that.
It's usually the Russian troll farms and people like that. I get a lot of those things they're comments from people who they have just a letter for their YouTube name or something. I get a lot the really spammy comments are a lot like that. It's not usually the people who would come into the YouTube Discord server, right? It's a different sort of person who is going to just call it scripted. So that's why you probably haven't really seen it, because it's not really in here as much, but if you go scrolling through the comments, sometimes you catch it.
I see.
And even if it doesn't happen a ton, it's also one of those things where it's just kind of a fear. It's a worry as a person who's producing content that you won't come across seeming genuine. It's a major worry. So even if it isn't substantiated, if to use the parlance of my kind, if it isn't a substantiated term, it still is. It's pretty obvious, to everybody involved, that there's always the worry that people are going to see you as scripted and fake. It's just kind of part of the scene to be afraid of that. I don't know. I got to answer this. I've had a few people ask me about the journalist Chad thing. And guys, guess what? Norm Chad is approved. I know that the Chad meme has been used for hate, but I just want to make it clear that Norm Chad is okay to use. So if you're worried about this, don't be. Okay? Thank you. why are the people in the chat who just keep on coming in here to just say I have AIDS? What is this AIDS thing about? What are people's fascination with my HIV status?
Is it one person or is it
No,
multiple?
it absolute. I should mention it seems to overlap quite heavily with the Russian troll farm, like as in there's like there's members of the Russians who like post random comments in Russian will also post that I have AIDS, like they do both. They just do both. It's mostly you just wasted 3 seconds of your life reading this on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah.
For commenting. Who posted about the AIDS? But there's a few other.
There's also this Pixel dude.
Oh yeah, okay, shit. You keep up with it too, man. Man,
Yeah.
you know who I miss, man? I miss Peter, man. Peter was one of the most legit members of the NNN News fan club. I get it. He wasn't really the biggest fan of some of our hot takes, but that guy who had the notification bell on. If anybody knows where Peter is and can get in contact with Peter, please tell him, man. Tell him to come back. Tell him I'll have him on Norm Live, man. It'll be much more because we invited him. This is actually a little probably hasn't been released yet. We invited him. I kind of like how this shot is more green. This is a very green image, and then we got the green. Are those contrasting? Yeah, look at that. That's like stoplight Norm. Okay. We invited Peter on the show once, but he did not want to come on. So he said something in his email like he thought we would just talk over him or like stop him. But are you kidding me? If I had Peter on there, I would just let him go on and on and on, man. It's like if I had Stanley on the show, man. I just let Stanley keep on going, because eventually Stanley will see the error of his own ways and come back to planet Earth, man. Come back to norm, man. But Stanley right now is in a little bit of a tumble. That's fine, okay? That's fine, Stanley. I just want to address the Stanley controversy. Stanley and I do not have beef anymore. We wiped the slate clean. Did I walk out on that podcast? Yes, I walked out on that podcast twice. But that is just because I thought it was a bad vibe. I felt as a guest I wasn't treated correctly, okay? I don't want to pull this crap like I'm some sort of uber celebrity. But, at a certain point you expect certain things. And if I come to a podcast, I expect both the guests to be there. I expect both the hosts to be there and ready. I don't expect to have to wait 5 minutes in the green room. You know what 5 minutes of my time is worth? $300.
It's one thing to make your other host wait, but it's
But
another
make
thing to make the
Norm
audience
wait. I can't believe it. I was so mad, man.
your audience waiting.
Okay, but I really do hope, and I just want to say this, whenever Stanley releases the podcast, there's no hard feelings. Go over to Stanley's video, give it a big old fat like, because at least Stanley's trying. Now, Stanley could definitely work a little bit on his self-actualization and his procrastination. I think procrastination is probably the biggest demon, the biggest vice that I've had to overcome recently, because I'm a person deeply rooted in procrastination and anxiety, and particularly where those two things meet. I'm the type of person who will wait to send a letter for 2 weeks because I'm just terrified of the thought of the other person opening it. It's not a good situation to be in. However, I have been able to overcome that through meditation, through self-medication, however you want to do it, through sort of just taking more active control over what you're doing with your life, and just doing it. When you want to do something, just doing it. As long as it's not going to hurt anybody, as long as you can do it safely, just doing it. It's like if I have to go downstairs to send a letter, I'm going to go downstairs to send a letter the second I think I have to do it, because otherwise it becomes something you put off. And then you end up spending so much more time putting it off or talking about doing it than just doing it. So yeah, fucking just do it, Stanley. And I really appreciate that you are just doing it and are making something. That's my other thing. Make something. You have, put something out into this world, man. Don't just be a consumer. And I could just mention your something can be to perpetuate somebody else's something or some ideal that you hold dear. That's fine. Like, I'm not saying everybody has to make their own thing and be their own brand, right? You can be part of something and be incredibly happy and incredibly fulfilled. But you just have to do it. You can't just not do it and think that you can get away with living in a life and just playing video games or something. Just those things will make you temporarily happy. And that's fine. And it's fine to have that every now and then. And it's fine to even have it a lot, right? Those things will make you temporarily happy. But in the long run, they don't create fonts of happiness, All they are is just black holes of just serotonin button pushing. We're like, sure, for a while you're riding that horse and it feels fantastic, but eventually you're going to crash and it's just not going to feel good. But if you actually spend that time, making steps towards, personal goals, things that you're passionate about, then you're going to find, maybe even if you do get to a point where like this is a little bit of a brick wall, you're going to be able to look behind you and see all the progress you made. And being emboldened by that, you'll almost certainly be able to knock down, go around, go under, bypass, whatever you got to do, dig through the brick wall. You'll be fine. Did I tell the hat story or
Wise words.
did I get lost in space?
No, you. I love that. Those were some pretty inspiring words. I gotta say.
Did I tell the hat story or did I get lost in space? Did I ever tell you guys about where
No,
I
you got lost in space. But,
Shit, man, that always happens. This is
but
this is
it was inspiring.
Okay, you guys want to
I
hear this?
love it.
You guys want to hear like the biggest lost in space moment, man? The amount of times I've went to a Discord channel to send a message to see another message already typed out. Like not even like a response that's like okay. Like literally like I'll have paragraphs typed out. And I'll go, oh, that's there? Like it's lit, dude. And I just will send a bomb paragraph out of nowhere. It's great. Anyway, the hat story. So this hat, I originally got this hat. I got it online. It was one of my first pieces of Grateful Dead merchandise, and it is one of those things where it's always a little bit shameful to me to wear it to like more serious Grateful Dead events because it kind of makes you feel like a poser just having the band's hat on a logo where it's not like something that's very transformative. But that's one of those sort of very like almost egotistical thoughts that I've sort of tried to expel from myself, having the sort of being worried that I'm being a poser thing. Because that's very much like, if you're worried you're a poser, like, who cares about you that much that you'd be a poser? Like, why no one's thinking about what hat you're wearing, dude. Calm down. That's that whole scene and why I've moved past that. But, for a long time, I was definitely like, oh my God, my piece of merchandise I wear all the time is just a logo. That was definitely like a thought, a lingering thought in the back of my mind. But I wore this hat every single day. Well, actually not this one, but I'll get to that later. I wore a hat that looked identical to this every day for 2 or 3 years. And then right fucking a couple of months ago, right when this whole COVID thing was really blowing up, I had to go cross country to take care of my grandmother because my grandfather had to go to the hospital. And I fucking lost the hat in the airport. I ended up getting another one on Amazon or some shit, dude. And I wore that one off and on. This is the second one, and it definitely doesn't have as much energy as the last one. Especially because I thought I lost it again moving to this place, but I literally just found it underneath my bed like 30 minutes ago. Whenever I started streaming, like right before I started streaming, I just found it under my bed. And I was tucking in my sheets or whatever, and I was fucking okay. And I thought I'd lost it. And I was like, it would have made sense that I lost it because I would have left it in like the moving truck. Because I like kind of vaguely remember isn't that weird? Where I could have been so sure, like, oh yeah, I lost it. But that was just not what happened. Like my perception of the situation was just so screwed up. It was the entire time was literally just under my head while I was sleeping. And I could have thought, oh, I lost it forever. Isn't that kind of weird? And it would have even been more crazy weird if this was the hat that was still so special to me. Because then it would be like, whoa. Like this huge, this like Norm Relifact, right? This Grateful Dead. And if, that's a crazy thing too. That Norm Relifact exists out there. Like, I want to tell you this. You guys know the Grateful Dead mask I wear around every day? I think I may have posted a couple photos of me in it. It's like the mask I wear outside, basically. I don't know. It's over there, but I'm not going to get it. Anyway, that mask I found on the ground, like in a random parking lot near a beach. And I've been wearing it ever since. I gave it like 2 weeks to quarantine, and like I washed it a couple times. But then I've been wearing that mask ever since.
That's
Which means
someone else's story right there.
That's what I mean. Like somebody else might have found my hat and they're just wearing it now. Like they might have just taken it. Like And like no fucking no harm, no foul, dude. Like I'm not mad at the person who has my hat now, man. Like isn't that kind of cool?
It is. Yeah.
And that's the whole thing of like
interesting.
it's like what is it? Leaving messages in bottles, man. Like shit like that, where it's like you're gonna have an impact on someone's life far into the future, like maybe even past the point of your death, and that's sort of meaningful. And that's sort of the leaving the message in the bottle and the losing the hat and finding some sort of solace in that. That's the Hallmark jerking off version of this whole thing. Like that's like the fake deep. It's like who cares? The real version of that is like committing your life to a goal or a cause and then making a substantial enough impact in the world that people generations later will feel your impact as a person and it would have meaning. You know, the Hallmark store version of that is leaving a message in the bottle and then in 50 years or whatever it is, the time capsule. That's Hallmark version of, oh, we're going to affect the future. Yeah, man, because you set the fucking date you're going to open it. Man, no one fucking cares about time capsules, dude. Like, that's such a phony way to like, leave a mark on the world. That's like fucking building a statue. I have it out for any man who wants a fucking statue built of himself. Because that's like, who cares? Who's ever been like, oh, that's a cool... Like, if the name's not on the plaque, I don't know who you are, man. Like, that's what I mean. Like, these are just random fucking dudes. Mostly white, right? So, I don't know, tear them down, whatever you want to do. Who is Stanley? Desert Dweller in the chat asked that, like, forever ago. But I'm going to answer it now, as though it was just asked. Stanley is a YouTuber. Stanley is a Discord admin on a very small ranking server as far as servers are concerned. I mean, I would barely even consider him an official Discord mod. Like, maybe he's a junior mod in the grand scheme of things. Like, if we're really comparing Discord mod ships, like, dude, I've been a mod of a 12K plus journalism Discord server, so I'm kind of a little bit of a bigger deal than Stanley as far as like mod perms are concerned. Like, dude, I could get him Omega banned, but I'm not gonna do that. Stanley and I, we had beef for a little while, but we're working past it, and I think we're past it now. You know,
You're a server administrator now in the current version of that Discord.
I'm an Omega admin, dude. I've always been an Omega admin, man. But I got deep ties to the Club of Rome.
Don't all journalists?
What?
What are you drinking tonight?
This is literally just water, dude.
Oh,
It's just
that's boring.
I know, right? But it's always, people gotta understand this, man. I'm not a fucking alky, man. I don't drink. So it always is just water or like soda. I mean, I drink soda a lot, I guess. I don't even have anything right now with me. The one thing I'm thinking about,
Okay, this is where the important questions come then. What is your favorite soda?
what is my favorite soda? Jesus Christ. That's a hard one. Who are you asking? Are you asking me when I'm, it's summertime, I'm with a hot chick, I'm on the beach, got my Speedo on, got my dragon wings, just roaring about, slamming about in that thing, just, whipping my tail around. You know how it goes. You know what a dragon looks like on a beach, guys. If you're asking that Norm what his favorite soda pop is, maybe he wants a Sprite, he wants something. Sorry, there's a fucking gunfire outside.
What the hell was that?
That was
I
gunfire.
understand. I live in the Chicago.
That's what we call our artillery fire, boys. Why are you laughing?
Howitzers.
So, if you're asking the Norm who's on the beach, with a nice lady, what sort of soda pop he wants, he probably wants a Sprite. And I want to make this clear, guys. I sometimes refer to myself in the third person as he. I'm not misgendering myself. There's really a lot of a deep a deep, deep thing when it comes to sort of being part of the trans experience and being trans in our own perception of gender. When you're telling stories that happened in the past, it becomes kind of very deeply confusing and hard to suss out. Because when I was that sort of age and I was, Norm on the beach, I hadn't yet realized my dragon identity, and at that time I was a male, so I was referred to as he. That Norm was called a he, so it's hard to sort of suss out in my mind while I'm telling the story. So often I slip up, and I just want to make that clear to people because people always seem to want to bully trans people and make it seem like they have to like keep up some facade. Like if a trans person misgenders themselves, they're somehow not trans or something. Like I don't know what that whole shindig's about, but it ain't me, babe.
So you're saying normally it's a Sprite?
No, that's what I'm trying to get at, man. It's not normally a Sprite. It's Sprite when I'm on the beach with a babe.
Correct.
If
So, like,
if
right
if
now,
let's
like,
right
what-
now, what can I go for right now? Well, it's hard to say. Well, what about if I told you Norm in the afternoon wants a Coca-Cola? That's I want to sit in my chair and read a nice book. In fact, recently I got gifted a book that I suggest everybody read. Oh, jeez. Can anybody see anything that they shouldn't be seeing? No. The title page comes separate on the back page. We got separated on mine, but let's load that up to the camera here. Oop. Robert A. Heinlein, A Moon is a Harsh Mistress. This was gifted to me from my dad. It appears he got this for 40 cents at one point. I'll just read the back for you at home. And I'm sure you can find a Reader's Digest version on now, whatever, footnotes. Let's get here. Luna of the 21st century is a penal colony where everyone lives under the dictatorship of the hated authority. But the inevitable takes place one day when Mike, the master computer who controls everything on Luna, devises an intricate revolution. It was a two-part word here. Plot with the help of a professor, a beautiful blonde, and a jack of all trades. The conspirators' plan goes along beautifully for a while, and then it sort of dots out because you're supposed to read the fucking book. So, check it out, man. It's a great book. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert A. Heinlein. And any of Heinlein's stuff is great. I highly suggest it. It's really political. It is really political.
Bought in one political book in my life.
But it's not political in like it's not like a book written by Ben Shapiro or something. It's political in the sense that it explores themes of civics and of how large groups of people manifest themselves in communities and how it can be done well and how it fails, and it explores those ideas through story. I mean, it's fiction. It's fictional. It's a sci-fi novel, but it explores those ideas through the text in a way that's yeah. It is sort of it's in undertones. Yeah, I mean I would say you could read this book with no political savvy and you would enjoy it as a sci-fi novel. But if you have political savvy, I think it adds an extra layer.
Yeah, I like this kind of books, and they do the same thing in movies. Because I
Yeah, well,
was
of course.
rewatching a bunch of stuff.
I mean, that's kind of the entire
Like-
that's kind of the entire point of art, right? To say one thing and mean another, and have everybody understand, right? That's the whole gig. It's like you want to be able to present something in one way in order to convey another idea, but do it in such a way in which both things can be true at the same time. And it's hard, you got to thread the needle on the whole thing. But when it's done successfully, it's fantastic because it subverts your expectations. It's wonderful, and it's kind of.
Yeah, some of those movies I've been watching is like I watch them and I just think back and I'm like, dang, this movie is like it could reflect on something that could happen in the real world.
Yeah,
It's something that goes
and then also there's always that compelling thing of the sort of when you get a case where a movie becomes when your perception of a movie changes because of the world you're living in now, where this happens so often with 80s sort of action flicks or something, where at one point we saw these sort of these brutish male heroines who are rude to women and sort of crass as sort of cool, but now we sort of see them as lame, but they've become so lame that they almost become funny. Where now people will watch 80s movies and they sort of, because their perception has changed, what was once badass and cool and like, oh my god, he's such what an alpha male right there, right? Is now kind of just, oh, that's so quaint almost. It's quaint and how kind of funny and it's just not the way it is anymore. Hey Norm, can you do a Garfield Kart review? I do not own Garfield Kart. I am sorry, and I don't plan on owning Garfield Kart either. I would say if somebody bought me, how much does Garfield Kart cost? Because I might be making this much too easy for you guys. Okay, it's $15. No, it's $5. Okay, I feel bad now because I don't want to. Because here's the thing. I got myself into a trap here. On one end, I really don't want to play Garfield Kart because it just sounds like a bore. I just don't think I'm going to dig it. The other end, I also don't want to be an asshole and ask you guys to buy me a game. It's like, I don't know, it's like $5, but I'm not going to do that. So I just don't think I'm going to do Garfield Kart at least tonight, Stanley. Maybe if you could, you have to convince me of the virtues of Garfield Kart before I'll even consider it. Actually, if I'm being honest, you have to convince me that I'm wrong. Why should I play Garfield Kart? I mean, what does Garfield Kart really have to offer?
Why would you not want to play it?
What was that?
It's Garfield Kart. Why would you not want to play it?
Because it sounds it doesn't sound like it's going to be very riveting.
I'm on the live stream. I'm on the live stream, and I unmuted it and listened myself, and I'm like, oh my god, I need a better mic.
Yeah, well, that's a whole funny thing where it's like we often don't think about how we display ourselves in the sort of digital landscape, but as much as I've tried to reject it my whole life, microphone quality and video quality actually has, and I'm even fucking it up right now, even has a significant impact on how people perceive the quality of your content. Like when I have the funny fuzzy cam, which in my opinion is just as artistically valid in a medium, although there is a quite dramatic light on my face, the green light on my face. It's really reminiscent of if you've ever seen like a lot of a more Korean style filmmaking. You get lighting like this, the sort of neon. It's kind of it doesn't have the traditional Western vibe in that way. It's much more Asian inspired. But I fucking dig it, man. I think it's sick. I think it's really great. What was I fucking talking about? Somebody has to help me here. I'm kind of lost in the weeds. Garfield Kart. Yeah, that game just doesn't have enough fucking legs, man. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like it's.
I never think I've had to convince a person to play Garfield Kart.
I don't know. The thing is, I think it's just
But
like.
I'm gonna convince you that you will buy Garfield Kart.
I don't know. The thing is, it's just like not. It's not shocking enough, man. It's like it's Garfield. It's so like that's what happens when when there's a big major group like. Of course they're gonna be. Of course Garfield Kart will exist.
It has like 5,000 plus hours of story. Like it has like the same what is like one of the best games of like Ghost
and Goblins is a terrible
game. It's
game.
like one of the best.
Why are you going to talk about Ghosts and Goblins? What? Ghosts and Goblins is a terrible game, dude. Like, terrible.
I don't know.
Can you guys see this, or is this for not?
I don't know, but like.
Do you guys see what position I'm in?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that looks like the same position Garfield is in Garfield Kart. Furious. Like, why don't you want to buy Garfield Kart? You're only spending $5, mate. It's not like a $60 game.
Can I tell you what I can get for $5?
Trash.
Can I tell you what I can get for $5?
Garfield cart.
You could get a Garfield cart.
No, dude.
You could get. I own several
At the-
Garfield.
At my local dispensary, you can get at my local dispensary if you spend over a certain amount of money, you can get a fucking banger joint for $5. So I'm gonna fucking buy that, man. I'm not gonna fucking buy a Garfield cart. That's fucking economics, dog. I mean, I'm not. I'm just being straight with you, dude. I
It's on
value my
Steam,
money.
bro.
Like I
Or
literally keep track.
Xbox
I'll
One,
put it to this way, man.
PC,
I keep-
Nintendo.
Can I fucking talk for a second, Stanley? Because I'm far more interesting than you are. I literally keep track of every single dollar I spend, like the second I spend it, in a calculator app on my phone, and it's been the most tremendous thing for my. Because I used to have a spending problem, a little bit of one, not like a big one. I mean, but I definitely just having something that you have to you're forcing yourself to look at every day. Like, wow, I really spent $100 today, and it's like, oh yeah, because I spent $5 on Garfield cart, $5 at 7-Eleven 3 different times, right? Or things can just kind of pile up if you're not careful and if you're not being cognizant.
That burrito from 7-Eleven.
But it's like it seems like these things on their own are such innocuous purchases, which shouldn't affect my finances as a whole. But yeah, they add up, and Garfield cart $5
Have you
means
seen
$5 I won't be spending later.
looks
So
like?
no, I have. And
Really?
have
you seen it has RTX on it? It has RTX.
That's very nice, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna get
It's
you
at, like,
guys
it's
second
120
webcam.
FPS too.
Oh wait, I forgot. One of the things I also have is I have the movable keyboard now, which I thought was lame at first, but it's actually kind of sick for live streaming because I can do a transition.
Yeah,
with,
because when you're playing Garfield cart, you need that
Yeah.
extra mobility.
Well, no, but now I could. No,
I'm
actually,
gonna convince
this
you
is
to-
actually a terrible keyboard. It was like $20, but it's Bluetooth, and I usually use like a really high end mechanical keyboard that's wired. I definitely do. I will say, and this is just because I perceive things faster than the average person. I do definitely notice a little bit of an input lag here. Now this is because I'm totally like weird and nitpicky, and like I say, I perceive things as a
Well, if you're
faster
not
thing.
gonna buy
As a
Garfield
slight joke. Can you please let me talk, please? Stanley, I will delete you.
So
You want to fucking play with me, Stanley? Do you want it to fucking turn to that?
I
Stanley?
didn't know that.
You want it to turn to that, Stanley? Because it fucking won't, bud. Okay. Jesus Christ. Fucking, I don't even know what I was talking about. Fuck you, Stanley. Jesus.
Looks like we got another game recommendation.
What's that?
Amoris. It's a great game.
A what?
Amoris.
Explain it.
It said in your stream chat. Norm, can you do a review of the game Amoris?
Another game review request. It's funny. I at once. This is, of course, the struggle of any artist. You start off where you would do anything for just a little bit of feedback, and then very quickly you lament any feedback. You just say fuck it. I mean, come on. Like who are you to ask me to do a review? Yes, actually, I will do an Amoris review now. Because I went down that whole thing, and
I mean, the game's free.
it's free on Steam. I'll do it right now, man. Let's do it right now.
All right.
Thank you for the person in chat who
There's
was.
so many other games I want you to review though. I
Well,
want you to review Eminem's kart racing on the Wii.
how do I spell Amoris? Can somebody live check me here? How do I spell Amoris here? Letter by letter.
I think
let's
it's
see.
Oh, I found it. Oh no! Free. It's free on Steam, man. This is definitely a furry role-playing sex game. Fuck. Did I say I was gonna review? Okay, wait. I said I was gonna review it. Okay, guys. Let's be reasonable here. Let's all be reasonable here. Okay, guys. I said I was going. No, I'm not gonna show it on stream. I'm definitely not gonna do that. I said I was gonna review it. I did not say I was gonna play it on stream. No, you do not. You are going to see nothing. It will literally just be 2 norm cams, but I will explain what the game is. Okay? This is...
You're on OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'll say it. You're right. Save that one for OnlyFans. Yeah, well, that you're right. That one will be saved for OnlyFans. Yeah, keep that one in the back pocket for later. But just to give my brief review of Armor is just from a first response, just from looking at the store page here. It looks like a interesting way to interface with a number of different anthropomorphic animals, if that's your jam. I think it's they do have 9 fully dateable characters, which I don't exactly know what datatable means. It's datatable? No idea.
Dateable?
Dateable characters? Is that even
Means you can have sex with them in the game.
Oh. They could have just put it
I
that
love
way.
playing.
Booty action. Sick.
I love.
Thousands of
Oh yeah, but
lines.
just to flex on y'all real quick, I have about 65 hours on Amoris.
Oh, you do? Okay, so this is a
Oh,
no.
really,
Okay,
bro?
wait,
You
well,
wanna
fuck,
try
dude.
me?
They want me to review it, dude. Can you just review it?
I
Yeah,
can
man,
give a
you
nice
just review
overview
it,
of
man. I mean, you use
I
60
have
hours,
a
man.
biased view.
Okay, okay, man. Just keep it safe for work.
Sounds like-
Keep it safe for work. So don't talk about any,
All right, you go to a nightclub, right, with your great old.
Oh wait, fuck!
brother,
I played this, dude.
Bird.
I think I've played this.
A lot of,
Wait a second. I played. Oh yeah, shit! I played this like literally. Does it say? I probably it says released in 2018 on this, but I feel like I might even played it. I guess I probably played it then in 2018.
You should give me your Steam account. I'd like to see what you play.
I'm not gonna do my Steam account right now, just because I don't have the information locked down on there very well right now, and if I'm being honest with you, that's something I gotta work
I
on.
actually have some serious game requests for Norm.
And I
Yeah, I
put
just need to make a list.
yeah.
Steam request.
I was gonna ask Norm if he could do a review of the first of the original of Team Fortress 2. Could you do a TF2 review?
Well, TF, obviously you asked that question in jest because you're a child. And I understand that. That's fine. I was once young and dumb. In fact, that's the only reason I put up with you, Stanley, because I see myself in you, and it makes me. It would make me so sad to have deprived my past self of such an amazing opportunity that I just feel bad for you. And I'm being honest with you, Stanley.
I'll be
I have
on the. Yeah, thanks for filming the podcast with me today, Norm.
That's
you
no
did
worries,
very
Dan.
well.
So yeah, I have. It's funny actually because in my head the stat was much larger. Because it was much larger at the time, which is sort of the whole like what is it? Something of scale, economy of scale. So all the economy of scale thing, where it's, as a kid everything feels bigger, but it's funny because it actually happened with the video game time, which isn't a traditional thing. But I have 200 hours in Team Fortress 2, and I last played it in 2017. Those were back before I fully fell in love with Joe Biden. So
You have 200. I salute you, my guy. 200.
that's
hours
not
on
even.
Team Fortress.
Well, that's the whole thing. The 200 hours isn't even that much. You got to keep in mind, I was a total WoW freak, and I had it was something along the lines of it was like near the end, six. It was somewhere between like 8,000 and 10,000 hours. I calculated it because you had to go to every character. I mean, it was in the magnitude of days. Days and days and months, and I don't know if it got to a year. You'd have to do the math of what 10,000 hours is, but yeah, it was
That's
a
lot.
tremendous amount of World of Warcraft. So, and with that being my perspective, 200 hours in one game isn't particularly much. I'm what you call a very
I've played
focused
400
person.
hours of Minecraft and 105 of Crash Bandicoot. Don't ask.
Okay.
Wait,
Oh,
Norm.
okay. Good.
Norm, can you play Persona 4 Golden?
I have a
Performance. This is one of those games where I have a lot of people who have been asking me to look into this. Why is it that everybody thinks this can be journalist approved? Why is this? Is it because they want it to be, or is it because it actually has a message it's trying to get out there? Like, what's the purpose of the game?
I would say Persona 5 or Persona has a more message, but Persona 4 Golden's on Steam. So
Okay, it's $20, and it says a coming of age story that sets the protagonist, his friends, on a journey kickstarted by a chain of serial murders. That sounds. I mean, it definitely has a compelling lead in here. I'd have to play it. I'll put it on. How about this? I'll put it on a wish
Did you
list.
play Crash Bandicoot?
I
And try to play.
I played Crash Bandicoot a very long time ago on like a PS. No, it wasn't even. Was it even like a phone? No, it wasn't. Couldn't have been a phone app. What was it? It was some awful like port of Crash Bandicoot. and it was like it's my only experience of the thing, and I really loved it at the time, but I now realize how gimped it was as a thing. You know, I just didn't know any better at the time.
Garbage phone port. I mean, I'm trying to complete the first one because that's like the hardest one, I think. Or like, not in the Insane Trilogy. Because me as a Crash fan, I can't play 4 because because it never came out on my platform. And I can't get a new console because, that thing's sold out. That baby's all gone. So, I'm just kind of stuck. Because, like, if you guys want, like, the new next-gen consoles, I'll let you guys into a little secret. Get it next year when it's more available.
Oh my god, I saw people buying them and reselling them. They're evil.
Well, yeah, that's late stage
it's
capitalism for you, dude. Come on. I mean, if I heard a friend say this to me, and this was so fucked. He's like, I think I might have to set a botnet just to just fucking get myself one. Like set up like a fucking like bot to like watch the page just to get himself one. And when my friend, who's a total computer novice, is considering taking on the task of setting up a bot, which would take him months to figure out. I mean, you could probably get a PS5 by the time he gets the bot thing set up. The fact that he was considering it was like, okay, this thing's hard to get. This thing's elusive.
Just build your own PS5.
Or just go PC.
Yeah, I was gonna. I hate to say it, if only because I feel bad because I know it's the whole PC master race, and I don't want to contribute to that sort of white supremacist organization. But I do think that the PC is a superior system if you just want to be an individual in 2020. I think the amount of people who don't have computers in 2020 is astounding to me. And I literally mean obviously access, to lower income people, but also just there's so many people who their family could afford a computer, but everybody just uses cell phones. And that is not a way to live. You have so much more control with an actual proper computer of some sort, even if it's like a Mac or something. Like it's the move over to phones is really part of the whole dumbing down of technology, which is part of the dumbing down of our society. And it's really something that you should try to tear down as best you can and reject it yourself. Because at least that's the thing you can do for yourself. You can choose to reject it yourself and actually use the best technology available to you at the time. And of course, if you don't have the money to get a computer, your computer's not available to you at the time. And that really sucks. And you should do what you can with the resources you have. But you shouldn't, gimp yourself. And I had a friend he just got his first computer like this year. He's in his 20s. Like he had a phone and he had like a PS3 or something, a PS4, whatever. I think he even had a PS4 and an Xbox. Like he had a PS4 and an Xbox, but he didn't have a computer, which literally links you to the most important thing in the world right now, being the internet. And whether or not it's the idea that because obviously this is an argument online all the time, whether or not the internet and whether or not the online should be an integral part of your life, and whether or not that's healthy, that's a discussion to have another day. The fact is, just to speak in realpolitik, to speak in reality, the internet is the most important thing that is happening right now. And how you interface with that is incredibly important on how you will sort of succeed going forward once you have to get self-actualized. Because eventually things are going to start happening where, a lot of these, we're going to lose a lot of safety nets. We're going to lose, a lot of sort of umbilical cords are going to get cut to less essential systems. You need to be able to be self-actualized in these sort of situations. And internet agency is a big part of that. Not just using one platform. Hosting your own platforms when you can afford it, when you have, when there's enough warrant for it, right? And it's just making sure that you have a backup plan is important. And of course it is infinitely the putting your eggs in the one basket thing that a lot of us are part of, which is riding the train of the internet. And of course, there's always a chance that this is all going to get cut off. I mean, that was recently, dude, with all the Google stuff that happened, where all that shit got hacked. Like, that literally could have been, if that went different, dude, that could have been no more Norm at Night. And we're back to the woods, man. Like, isn't that crazy?
That'd
That
be
like
sad
no. Pause for a second, Stan, because this is serious. Isn't that crazy that like a week ago, and this happened to all of us, and this is really this. We came. The meteor came so close to hitting us, guys. We literally could have been back in the woods, and we didn't. We got lucky, you know, and they got things back in working order. But guys, if Google went down, I'm telling you this, man. If Google, and I'm being completely for real with you guys, if Google went down for like a full 24 hours everywhere, as in you couldn't go on Google.com, there's literally mass violence, mass exodus from areas. There's craziness if that happened. I mean, sure, you know, the 5 people living in that hippie commune somewhere maybe don't care, but the rest of the world is gonna explode, man. I mean, even if you don't tie your life to technology, the world around you does. So it's best, you should have a vested interest in its well-being, even if you don't personally choose to spend a lot of time on it, or even if you choose to pay it no mind. You should have this is the thing that's so screwed up about all these old politicians who are passing all these legislation about the internet, who know nothing about it, is that what they don't realize is that this. No, Stanley, no one gives a shit about you. What they don't realize is that they're passing laws that are going to directly lead to really bad stuff for them personally, because they're just not really thinking big picture. That often, you know, you have things that you affect that you have no intention of infecting, but the way that you affect them is gonna sort of have a ripple effect. It's huge. Anyway, Stanley, what do you have to say? What was so important that you had to stop
It's
my
like
monologue?
what you were saying about the people that were. Did you
And
hear
I
about the
just
new
want to say this, Stanley.
DMCA?
I just want to say this, Stanley. I fucked up the end of that monologue because you came in and totally killed the train. But it's fine, man. I mean, who knows what sort of apocalyptic eclipse we would have reached? Like the fucking peak of Dark Side of the Moon eclipse, man. That's fucking Jesus Christ. Like if we had fucking reset, we could have done it, but Stanley fucked it up. Anyway, Stanley, what's up?
Basically, I was thinking like there's gonna be a bunch of garbage if like the new DMCA law passes, where it's like if you play 2 seconds of like any song, you're gonna go to jail.
I think people are the copyright thing is a red herring, man. They're not going to destroy us with copyright law, man. They never have. That was the whole net neutrality was going to destroy us in a day. It didn't. The way they go, you know, the way they go after us is with a control. It's with control of the sort of media. It's definitely not with copyright. It's just not the way they do it, man. They work with people. You know, you get these Russian troll farms, and their job is to rile up Trump supporters. You know, make more Trump supporters, make more white supremacists. That's their job. Like they have other ways of doing it other than just deleting all the media. In fact, having a more chaotic media is actually great for these sort of influencers who are trying to do these things to you. Because having a more chaotic media means you're less likely to actually be very diligent about what the media you're consuming is. You know, because there's so much of it. There's a glut, right? You could have anything, so why care? And so you're more likely to fall into subliminal messaging or you know, whatever, influence. And of course, the thing is, we talk about influence like it's a bad thing, but inherently, influence is just it's just a thing. It's not good or bad. For example, I'm almost certainly having an influence on you, or at least I hope to have an influence on you. Even if it's that you disagree with me, that's still an influence on you. So I don't want influence.
For 3 videos.
I don't want people to when I say influence instantly think that I'm making a blanket statement towards everybody who makes stuff online, because obviously I'm not. I mean, there's there's nothing wrong with being a little egotistical every now and then, a little self-serving. We all are, right?
Well,
That's
very
why I'm
powering
here.
speech,
We disagree a lot, but I really like listening to other people.
Yeah, I mean I think
Seeing
that's
why.
that's what it's fucking about, man. I mean, if you got
Yeah, I'm
the,
just
like,
here because Norm allowed me here.
I do
We're
allow
all here
Stanley on
because
here.
of Norm.
Well, I already told Stan Stan, I told you why you're here, man. You're here because, and I already told you this, so I shouldn't have to tell you again, but I'm going to. You're here, Stanley, because you're so much of what I was at your age, of just so much misguided confidence. That's what it is, misguided confidence. And it's a trait that is definitely not a good trait. It's a bad trait, but it's a trait that I share with you, and because of that, I feel some sort of kindred spiritship that makes it much harder for me to bring down the hammer on you, and it does sort of just make me a little sympathetic to your cause, even if your cause is built upon bad soil.
You know how people make fun of Ramon Bowman, calling him Ramon Noodles. I have took it.
Who? What's
What?
that? Stanley? 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 Oh,
I
no,
made a new funny one.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Dustin Lettuce.
Who? What?
Dustin Lettuce.
I don't get it. Who's Dustin Lettuce?
Lettuce.
Who is Dustin Lettuce?
Dustin Levitt. I made fun of his name. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Wait,
For a
Stanley.
moment. Bye.
Stanley.
What?
Who is Dustin Lettuce?
It's a name I made up. You do not know who Dustin Lettuce is. He is my alter ego.
Why did you just make up?
who was
Why did you
find
just
him.
give me a random name, dude?
You will find Dustin Lettuce in the catacombs.
That was fucking weird. You feeling okay? Oh, I'm mute. Okay. Don't know why. Had to make those noises at the end. You feeling okay? Oh no. No, they're not feeling okay. Well, now that everybody's left because of the loud noises, I think this feels like a natural place to end the stream. Thanks everybody who stuck in here in the YouTube chat for that. What's up, Norm Aces? Well, I'm leaving. Thank you, Aces, High, RC, and Airsoft. I just want to say I fucking love your name, man. I think it's fantastic. Keep doing whatever you're doing, man. Whatever you're up to, man, keep it up. Because you're killing it right now.